You know what we can't run? An anime podcast.
podcast.
All right, you see, now you're late. Now you're late on it.
I think
Last,
I think it's just Discord latency. I don't think that was my fault.
I swear that was late, but fine.
From my end, it sounded like I said it as soon as you said an anime podcast.
For me, it was like 2 seconds after. You know what? We'll see. We'll see how it is.
Okay.
God, it's been a long week.
Yeah, so first off, hi everybody.
Hello.
Welcome back.
Once again, I am Frank, also known as Swarm.
And I'm Erebus.
And each week we try to provide you with a little bit of anime insight from our perspectives and what's going on with things that we're looking into, things we're watching, things we're reading, and things that just generally happen around in the anime world as a whole.
Because no one's opinion is more important than two random dudes on the internet who you've never heard of.
Isn't that just what makes the internet beautiful?
Exactly.
This week we wanted to talk about manga that we've been reading. I brought two to the table. One that a lot of people might not know, and one a lot of people probably do know. I'm going to start with the more known of the two, which is a Rent-A-Girlfriend. The anime is currently going on. It's one of the hits of the summer. Doing very well. I believe a new episode just dropped today. And as I was watching the show, I decided to give the manga a read and, see where things are going to go from here. And let me tell you, I don't know what this author is doing, but he has mastered a way to writing that exemplifies the entire genre that he is writing for. So, as you know, it's a romance, school life, shonen kind of manga. Right. And it's about a boy who is lonely after being dumped. So he hires a rental girlfriend and, antics pursue from there. I'm not going to give you the whole premise. There's an anime out. You can watch it yourself. You can go read the manga if you want. What I am going to tell you is that this is an emotional roller coaster. So you must be ready to handle the ups, the downs, the turns, and the upside downs of this entire project. Because I believe from start to where it's currently at, it's been an all-star knockout of the park kind of read. And the next statement I say will be a little controversial, especially for those who watch the anime because you haven't met this person. But you've seen her in the openings. So I believe that the orange hair girl, Sumi, to be the best girl. Now, I've had at least 5 arguments on people who disagree with me. And that's perfectly fine. The show is made in a way where, you pick your own best girl. And that's perfectly cool. But for me, that's Sumi. I can get into a lot of the reasons why, but I think you should experience them for yourselves. And after you're done experiencing it, I want you to go and read her side manga. It's about 3 chapters long. I think you'll have a treat because it is adorable. I'll let you talk into your next one before I go into my last.
Okay, so I also have 2 manga to bring to the table.
Oh, okay.
So I'll start with the probably more popular, but I still think that this is pretty niche. Neither of the manga I'm going to be talking about have an anime as of today. This one is still ongoing, but I think it's probably one that more people know about, but still not many people know about. It's called Records of Ragnarok.
Records of Ragnarok.
Yeah. So let's say one day. So, there are gods in many mythologies and religions. Let's presume that they're all real. Okay?
Okay.
And every now and again, they all get together to make one big godly decision. This godly decision is to end humanity and start over.
Oh.
But then the Valkyries come in and propose that they give humanity a chance. A tournament where each god has to fight a different human from history.
Okay.
So, on the god side, we'll have people like Thor, Poseidon, Hercules, um, Shiva, people like that.
Hmm.
And then on the human side, we'll have well-known figures of history like Lu Bu,
Ooh.
Adam, the Atom,
Hmm.
Sasaki Kojiro,
Oh, okay.
and Jack the Ripper.
Oh, that's an interesting choice.
hmm And so yeah, the manga is just this. It is just this battle manga where these highly stylized versions of each of these people duke it out against each other. And that's really all there is. It's just that, and that's awesome, honestly.
Hmm.
It's a little bit gory. It's very, it's all about the action, so it's some intense, like brutal action. I definitely think that is a fun read, nonetheless. Some of the interpretations are very, very loose, but I think that works to the manga's credit.
Okay. It's very nice. Okay. I like that. I like that. The second one I brought to the table is Lonely Attack on Another World. Yes, this is an isekai. No, I don't care how much you hate isekais. But let me explain to you why you should care about this isekai. This is it's probably one of the funniest isekais I've read so far, and I've read a ton. There's something about the way how self-aware this one is, where it makes jokes about a lot of isekai traits or the biggest thing it makes fun of is the fact that whenever you're reincarnated to another world, you get a cheat skill. So the premise for this one is that a entire class gets transported into another world, and they all get to go to God and pick their own cheat skills and everything else. But the main character was just a little bit smarter than the rest, so it costed him. And he saw that things were about to take a weird turn, so he hid in the attic, and so he got teleported last.
Mm.
During this, all of his classmates picked all the good skills, and he was left with the bottom of the barrel uh, skills, such as like so people could use like spears, bows, whips, katanas. He got cane, like a cane.
Mm.
Uh, People got like the ability to shoot fire and all these other things and be heroes and great sages and heavy warriors. He got being a villager, being a loner, and being a hikimori. And it's the combination of the skills that really make him shine as a character. Not only the run of the mill funny protagonist who looks kind of shabby but still manages to do a good job, kind of done ideal. And it's still pretty short. I think there's only about 33 chapters right now. But I see this becoming something that a lot of people might get into going forward, depending on how it blows up and how many people get a hold of it.
All right.
So what's your let me hear your last one. I'm excited for this.
All right. So this one is completed.
Mm,
This is called Fire Punch.
okay.
So Fire Punch. So this is a bit of a darker show. It's also really stupid.
Mm-hmm.
So the premise of the show is that in the future, kind of a vague when, um, the world is frozen over by someone who was called the Ice Witch.
Okay.
And so people had to, um, the world is not the way it was. So people, are living in villages and things like that, like rundown towns, try to make ends meet.
Yeah.
Um, but there are also, in this world, people who have powers. These people are called blessed. Now, so a lot of people kind of have like similar abilities. Like the main character and a handful of other characters are regen types, and so they're all vaguely have powers on the idea of regeneration. The main character's regeneration is instant. So, like, if you cut his arm off, he'll grow back immediately,
Okay.
which is really good because he lives in a starving village.
Yeah. Oh.
Um, and so one day, a foreign army comes by and are looking for recruits. Most of the people in the village are old, and so they're like, "God, this is useless." And they want to get the kid, but then they learn that the village is made up of cannibals.
Yeah.
Because of the kid's power, that's how they get food.
Yeah.
And so, the leader of this group sets the entire village ablaze.
Oh.
Now, he has so he is a fire type blessed,
Uh-huh.
but he is special. You see, when he sets something on fire, it won't stop being on fire until it is destroyed.
Okay.
This is unfortunate for our main character, who regenerates instantly. So whenever he regenerates, the fire just comes back to consume him.
Yeah.
And so he is in this, and so he struggles with this for a while until he like basically doesn't feel anything anymore. So now he is just perpetually on fire, and that's how the
Mhm.
series starts.
This reminds me of another manga I was reading, and I had to look it up just to make sure that I wouldn't be incorrect in saying this. And this is from the same author who wrote Chainsaw Man.
Hmm.
So I can definitely understand the appeal to this type of writing.
Mhm.
I kind of want to give it a read now.
Well, I'm going to give you another reason to give it a read. So I'm
Okay.
going to spoil one thing, but this is but like I never heard of this manga. This is what got me interested to like start reading immediately. I haven't finished it. I'm like 20 chapters in, and I haven't even gotten to this point yet. But this is what got me interested. Swarm, I'm going to be sending you a picture of the panel.
All right. Let me take a look at this. Uh...
I want to make sure it's understood. This is not doctored. This is exactly how this was written.
Okay. All right. Now I'm a lot of interested.
So, to very, very briefly explain, the panel shows two characters talking to each other, one of which is describing their plan. So, their plan is somewhere along the lines of they want to destroy humanity, to restart it, to get humanity back to a point where they could make the next Star Wars movie. I would also like to point out that due to context clues in the manga, the apocalypse took place roughly in 2016, 2017. The latest Star Wars movie at that point was The Force Awakens. So the movie that they're waiting for is The Last Jedi.
Oh
Whatever your
man.
opinions are on that, just I want you to think about the fact that there is a manga about a constantly on fire, and there is a villain whose motivation is to destroy humanity to make The Last Jedi. If that doesn't get you excited, I don't know what will.
Yeah, I'm not sure if excited is the exact word, but I'm definitely interested.
Yeah. Also, I just want to re-emphasize this is a very dark manga. It's also very stupid, but that's neither here nor there. It's very dark, especially like in the beginning that I've read so far. There are a lot of just dark, grim themes. Some of which I think like aren't even necessary, but it does kind of help build the world.
Okay.
So keep that in mind.
Moving into the recommendations for this week.
Mhm.
I was given Drifters, and you
And
were given.
I was given Robahachi.
So let's dive in a little bit here.
Mhm.
I have to. I want to lean into the mic for this one because I want to be real serious with the words that I want to say. Uh, with Drifters, it is gritty. It is brutal. It is hilarious. It is amazing. I give this show a why does it only have 12 episodes when it should have 62 out of 10. When I tell you there is just something about the brutalistic stylings that come with the Hellsing type of animation style, using these characters like Nobunaga in a setting that puts them against other historical enemies, some from their same timeline, some from different timelines, or time eras, I should say, just makes it so entertaining. I swept through this show so fast my head spun, and I was furiously upset at the fact that this has been 4 years ago and we have not received the season 2.
Mhm.
This show, by far, if I knew how good this was in 2016, would have been my favorite anime of 2016. Those are my thoughts on this anime called Drifters. Go watch it. So yeah, I enjoyed that. It was a very good show. Very good show.
Opening's rad, by the way.
Oh, the opening's amazing.
Yeah. The my favorite part about Drifters is that you can tell is that this show was clearly on a budget,
Yeah,
but like it still really pulls off its style despite that.
it definitely makes the most of what it has.
Mhm.
And just the pure like just pacing of it to know when to break the serious tension, when to show serious moments. Every time you know that when they pull that black face and you can only see one eye type of ideal that something big is going down or something devilish is happening in the background, you know that like it's the type of anime where you just fired up for what comes next. Ah, such a beautiful show.
All right. Well, I guess I should go into the show I watched, which is Robahachi. So I'm gonna say a statement. I want to make sure I understood. I'm not trying to devalue the show, but this is a poor man's Space Dandy. It's not bad. I want you understood. Space Dandy is like just has like so much more production value to it, and that's all I could think about watching this because there are a lot of parallels, which I imagine half of them are at least intentional.
uh,
But no, this was a fun show. This show is a love letter to okay, it's not a very explicit love letter, but it is a love letter to older anime, more so in the later half than in the earlier half.
mhm.
But yeah, it's a lot of fun. I think that's really the best I could say about the show is that it is never stops being fun.
Got to.
Yeah. Personally, I watched this in English, which might have a different experience, but I'm gonna tell you, the English dub is really good. If you're it is so much fun. Like it's very snappy. I think that this show, I'm sure it's still enjoyable in Japanese. I didn't watch it all the way through. I just kind of watched like the first couple episodes in Japanese.
Mhm.
Um, I think that this is a show that I think, while still probably good, like in Japanese with subtitles, being able to like the snappiness of all of it just clicks like with a lot more of the comedy. So if your native language is English, I'd recommend watching this in English. But if not, or even if it is, go ahead, watch it in Japanese. So yeah, those are my thoughts.
So what's your rating here? What do you give it?
I rate it a fun out of 10.
Okay, all right. You know what? That's a pretty good rating. I like that. I like that.
Mhm.
It has been a ride this week.
Mhm.
And in the coming weeks, there are plans in the works for making a little bit of changes. And some of those changes are going to start very soon. The biggest change is we're going to move to a bi-weekly format, which means you will not receive an episode of this podcast next week, but you shall the following week, and 2 weeks after that, and 2 weeks after that, for the foreseeable future. There may be some special episodes here or there in between that time. There may not. But next time, we will also have our first guest on the podcast. And I think that's going to be a lot of fun.
I agree.
So, with that, those are the announcements.
Mhm.
Now, this upcoming 2 weeks recommendation. What do
Okay.
you got? What do you
All
got?
right. So let me introduce you to Inuyashiki.
Inuyashiki.
Yeah, so this is made. So the manga for this was made by the same writer as Gantz.
Oh.
So the manga is about this old man. Well, he's not actually that old. He's like in his mid-50s, but he looks like he's 80.
Mm-hmm.
So he is a sad old man. No one at his job really respects him. Um, his wife is kind of like dismissive of him. His kids don't want to hang out with him. And the only thing the only thing good in his life at the moment, at least for him, is a new dog that he got.
Hmm.
And then one day he's walking through the park, walking his dog, and then he just breaks down with like everything that's gone on in his life.
Oh.
And then he looks up and it's like, huh, there's a kid standing there. What's he doing there? And then an alien spaceship comes in, crashing in, into the park.
What?
And the aliens, seeing what they've done in their um foolish driving attempt, is like are like, well, we'd better replace them with robots. But sir, all we have are weapons. We'll have to make do what we have. And so this is a show about robot people. But more
Okay.
importantly about that, it's about what it means to be human. Are you familiar with the idea of Theseus's ship?
No, please explain.
Theseus's ship is the idea that if you replace every part of a boat with new parts, is it still the same ship?
Mm.
So this is very much a series that focuses on this idea of what makes you human. Does the parts that make up your body make you human, or is it something else?
Okay. I'm actually really excited for this. Sounds like a very interesting watch.
It also has probably my favorite Man with a Mission song as an open.
Oh, okay. Now, for you, I have picked out another one of my personal favorites. This one may be a complete opposite of what you are recommending to me, but I
Okay.
have picked out
Robots become people.
not
It's like
that one.
AI.
Mine is Hanebado, which is the badminton anime, and
Hmm.
it follows the story of two girls.
Okay.
One who believes that hard work overcomes talent, and the other is very talented with abandonment issues.
Hmm.
So you get to see this parallel and very closely intricate psychological story of these two girls and what it means to pursue your dreams while playing a sport and dealing with intense family trauma at the same time.
Hmm.
Throughout the show, you will experience a lot of brilliantly pieced together uh, sports scenes and a very interesting character dynamic as some of these characters grow and change with the story in ways that you probably would never expect. But it's all for the love of the game. Yeah, so that's my recommendation for you. You gave me your recommendation for me. We got our announcements out of the way. We talked the manga. I say we're good to wrap up here.
Oh, thank God! Finally, I can take my shirt off.
Perfect. I could turn my AC on. With that being said, this has been We Can't Run, the
On an
Anime
anime
Podcast.
podcast.